Welcome to your Daily 5 for Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I was listening to the latest episode of Digital Foundry Direct, or at least the latest episode as of this recording, and the gentlemen on that episode were talking about their concerns around the future of the console market within gaming specifically. And they were talking about the Microsoft moves with the Xbox, different things that were going on, and there was concern among all of them about what that meant for consoles going forward. And I was thinking about what they were saying, I was listening to it, and then I started thinking about the gaming industry a little bit beyond just the consoles. And of course, I'm sure everybody listening has seen some stories about layoffs in some company or another. There has been a dreaded recession just around the corner for 2 years now or something like that hasn't quite materialized, but was used by many companies as a justification for scaling back and reducing the workforce. Of course, some overhired and overplanned after COVID. So any number of things that are causing a lot of people to be out of work and a lot of prices on many things to be going up. And I started thinking about particularly the gaming industry, and I wonder if of all the different sectors that are going through a lot of turbulence at the moment, I wonder if gaming might be the one that's in for the biggest reset or crash or whatever you want to call it, because I feel like that particular industry has been running in an unsustainable fashion for quite a while now. If you think about the amount of studio closures that have been going on, the budgets of some of these games that are being produced, the inability for games to be sent out or shipped and work on day one, how many day one games just do not fundamentally work, the reduction in the completeness of games so that they can sell you a season pass or DLC or whatever else. I just wonder if that sector is not really going to be in for a major wall that they're going to hit right into. I don't know. I have no kind of insider info, but it just feels to me, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's lots of places that are running in unsustainable ways, but in particular, gaming feels like the one that is riding the hardest along the cliffside. That's putting aside even the ideas of the concerns over crunch, where employees work themselves literally to death over video games. And then those games come out, sell well, and it's still not enough for the publishers. And so studios are closed down. For example, this week, the publisher or the studio behind Prey and Dishonored, I talked about Prey and how much I love that game, and Hi-Fi Rush, which I remember selling very well, and it was a very celebrated game when it came out. They're gone. They've been closed as part of the Bethesda portfolio, so Microsoft has shut them down. And in fact, Aftermath had an article saying, well, okay, so how much money does a game have to make for you not to just shut the company down? And we saw there was I can't remember the name of the company. Was it Tencent or somebody? No, it wasn't Tencent. It was somebody else bought up a bunch of IPs and has now realized that they can't possibly do anything with them. They just went on a buying spree because I guess they were speculating that the games market would just keep exploding and exploding, and they're seeing that won't happen, and now they're just basically writing all this stuff off. And that's what I mean about gaming in particular. Feels like it's in a really, really bad spot. And don't get me wrong, I think it's overdue. Because I was thinking about this, I was talking about this with somebody the other day about Grand Theft Auto 5. And the fact that that game had a ludicrous budget, made a ton of money back and more than the budget for it. But honestly, do I really remember much of it? No, I don't really remember that much of the game. I had a great time playing it. I played the online portion for a while. I know a lot of people still do. But is there anything that really, to me, sticks out about that game as being special? And I'm coming up pretty empty. I really can't even think of a mission or a segment or anything that sticks with me. The way that I still remember Grand Theft Auto Vice City, because that game had such a style, and it arrived ahead of the big 80s nostalgia trend. It was one of the first things that was really going back to that. And I thought I can remember parts of that game crystal clear, and many others. But GTA 5, which I think at the time was, if it wasn't the most expensive game ever made, it was certainly one of them. And was that experience really worth all the human suffering and all the money that went into it? I mean, don't get me wrong, it made the budget back, but I'm talking about in terms of an experience that you remember. Was it that good? I know it reviewed off the charts at the time, but of course they always do when they come out. But I don't know. And I don't know if the new one's going to be like that either. So again, I just think about stuff like that, and a lot of these horror stories that we read about abuse within these different companies, and again, the human toll of crunch and everything else. And I really wonder if gaming is headed for a big chasm, and it might be a very rough ride, but probably one that has to happen. So just something I was thinking about, wanted to throw it out there. For any of you who are into gaming, let me know what you think. I'd be curious. Later.